FM.
Pregame.com.
Welcome back, pregame.tv. Ken Thomson, Dave Cokin, and gosh dang it, man, 1 week and the guy's gone already?
Goodness, see, that diet he's on is really paying off. Holy cow. Bro.
I mean, here's Leonard, gets booted from the Tuesday crew, tries to fit in with the Wednesday crew, and it lasted 1 week. You cut him, Cokes.
No. I think we made him nervous. That's what it was, you know.
Yeah, well, that'll happen.
Or maybe not. Now, Brian, by the way, props to Brian.
Right.
He's in the big contest locally, the $50,000 Friday Football Showdown, which the Golden Nugget and Las Vegas Review-Journal are a part of. And it's done on our show, the Las Vegas Sports, done on Fridays. And Brian...
Is he going against Kellen?
Well, I don't know who he's going against now, but he's in the Final Four.
Final Four.
He's been awesome. He had a 6-1 in round one, and the loser was the Michigan State-Nebraska game, which was a ridiculous backdoor. So he should have been 7-0. Yep. And he goes 5-2 last week, nails his best bet. That's pretty good. That's 11-3 for 2 weeks. So he's in the Final Four with a chance to win the big chunk of $50,000.
Wow. And we may never see him again.
Well, he's buying if we do.
Yeah, darn right. All right, we've got plenty of college football to talk about, Dave. And you know what? Every time you go out on the limb, you kind of get a little nervous. But the ironic thing with the Arkansas play that I threw out there, I didn't realize. I thought it was 18 straight losses. It was 17. It's ironic they win 17-0 over LSU.
How about that? Finally win an SEC game. Congratulations to Brett Bielema and the Razorbacks. They played a great game.
They're playing good ball. I mean, again, 3 losses. You take them away. I mean, this team could literally be 8-2 right now.
They're definitely improving, and he, you know, he's going to insist on getting that Wisconsin-style ground game down there. And look, if you're a running back and you want to play in the SEC, there's really no better place to go. That's going to be the school that's going to feature the running backs because that's his style of football.
And that offensive line, as big as the boys he had at Wisconsin, Collins, Williams, both going to be back next year as well, as the quarterback. So they're in good shape offensively going in. A lot of guys coming back for Arkansas. But we're going to talk a little UAB Blazers. They are at home against one of the 2 undefeated teams in the country, Florida State, of course, and then a team that has trouble even getting recognition to bust into the top 25, the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate part about being in the conference they're in is it's just not going to get much attention.
Right.
But they still have a chance now to get to one of the BCS bowls that are still out there. That whatever, I forget the terminology. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be in the playoffs. That they have no chance at that. Which, by the way, do I think Marshall's one of the 8 best teams in the country? No. I don't even think they're one of the 16 best teams in the country. But this is why I believe there needs to be a 16-team playoff. And if you win your conference, if you're in the FBS, there shouldn't be a privileged class in the FBS. Everybody should have their shot. And in a 16-team playoff, all the conference champions would qualify. It would be akin to the David versus Goliath matchups we see in college basketball every year. But guess what? 15 seeds beat 2 seeds. Right. It happens. And Marshall deserves a chance based on what they've done, but they're not going to get one. However, if they win this game, I would think that they are pretty much locked in. All they've got left is what, Texas, San Antonio?
And then they'll have to play La Tech in the championship game.
Right. Now that could be tough.
That could be a tough game, yeah.
They can't overlook this game, though. UAB, now is UAB as good as Marshall? No. But you know, you got the nervous factor here. And we've seen this many, many times with teams that know they need to win, just do enough to win. Well, and that's, you know, it's asking a lot to cover 3 touchdowns when you might be satisfied. It doesn't matter. The margin of victory really doesn't matter for them. If they win 24-23, they're still going to be unbeaten and still in the catbird seat for that extra, you know, the outside, the whatever.
Right,
again,
the smaller conference that gets into a major bowl.
Right.
Like Northern Illinois.
So, yeah, exactly. So you're looking at a situation where all they need to do is win the game. That's not an ideal situation to cover the spread in.
There you go. All right, this is going to be my free play. Going to go ahead and make it official. And Marshall Thundering Herd, I love Rakeem Cato. He's a great story. Lost his parents young, was raised by siblings, and just a dynamite kid. I mean, on and off the field, does a lot for the university, a lot of charity work in his off time. Doesn't have much off time, of course, during the season, but it's a fun team to watch. And they've got players. There's no doubt Johnson. Schuler is one of the better receivers, but Johnson is the main guy as far as carrying that ball. But this UAB team, they started out a little bit better than they're playing now. They did get drilled by La Tech 40-24 last week at home. for some concern as far as covering this number against Marshall, because Marshall's offense still a little bit better than Louisiana Tech's on certain days. They'll wing it around a little bit more. La Tech a little bit more balanced, and they'll run the ball a lot better. And I think their defense is better suited to play a Marshall team than a UAB team. But this is a UAB offense that early in the season put up over 550 yards at Starkville against Mississippi State, a team that's still sitting number 4 in the committee's eyes as far as being in that playoff right now if the season were to end today. So we know the quarterback, Cody Clements, he can air the ball out, but he's a running guy too. He'll run the ball, and then he's got 2 good ones in Howard and Vincent. These 2 guys, 1,800 yards on the ground, 19 touchdowns between them. But I'm kind of taking the situation into play. I just think it's a tough game. I think Marshall, like Dave said, doesn't matter if they win by 1 point, they win by 7, win by 10. Hey, you're going to give me 20 points, and I actually grabbed a 20.5. They're down to 20 pretty much everywhere. But you're going to give me almost 3 touchdowns with the home team. They're still going to play for their fans. Weather getting colder, even down there in Birmingham area. So I think, Marshall playing not to lose the game, but maybe not as wide open because they're there. They're sitting at 10-0. They want to complete a 12-0 season. They're well on their way. But UAB, again, they showed they could play with some big boys early on. Got some experience just last week against the Louisiana Tech team that will face Marshall in the championship there of Conference USA. So going to take a shot. It's not a great play, but it's worth 1 unit for me, and it's a shot. It's a good spot, as you would say.
Yeah. Again, you have to look at the different scenarios that are out there. Now, there are some teams that need wins this week, but they need to win impressively and get some style points. But this is a different situation. And when teams just need to win the game, especially when they've not been in similar circumstances before, sometimes they don't play their best football. The collar gets a little bit tight.
Yes. No doubt about it. All right, David, I know you've got a college game we're going to come back, take a look at, and then Dave and I will take a look at what the committee has done this week and putting their top 4 out, of course, with Alabama, Oregon, Florida State, and Mississippi State. And Dave and I will discuss those teams as well as the 3 on the outside looking in, possibly 4 if you count UCLA. If they run the table, they may have an outside shot, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. But we'll come back with Dave's college play. This is, of course, Ken Thomson, Dave Cokin, pregame.tv.